WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 1 o'clock, it's 50 degrees in Milwaukee with light drizzle in some spots. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Ty. Former President Donald Trump is headed back to the White House. CBS's Jared Hill on the story of voter turnout.
As Team Trump prepares to head back to the White House, they're calling for hope and optimism.
He is going to be a president for all Americans.
Senior advisor Jason Miller says the president-elect can hit the ground running with executive orders.
He can simply flip the switch on day one, secure the border, start the energy exploration again, which will help with reducing inflation, making things more affordable.
A vast majority of voters nationwide described the economy as bad. It was a top concern among Trump voters.
Vice President Harris is expected to deliver a concession speech at 3 p.m. our time from Howard University, her alma mater.
I'm Eric Bilstead. So what was the secret for Donald Trump's success?
I think he focused on the issues that voters truly care about.
Republican strategist Bill McCoshen tells Wisconsin's Morning News it wasn't rocket science.
People said the economy was the number one issue, and Donald Trump had specific answers as to how he was going to turn this economy around.
McCoshen says the biggest election surprise to him was the number of people who didn't vote.
The overall turnout appears to be down from 2020
by about 20 million voters. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin's U.S. Senate race was watched closely across the country. The incumbent Democrat Tammy Baldwin defeats Republican challenger Eric Hovde to win a third term. Baldwin trailed Hovde for most of election night until votes in Milwaukee County were tabulated earlier this morning. Baldwin defeated Hovde 49.4% to 48.5%, a difference of just under 29,000 votes. That's just outside the 1% Hovde needs to ask for a recount. In a statement, Hovde says he is not conceding and will, quote, continue to monitor returns and make sure every vote is counted. A somber moment today at Milwaukee City Hall.
Alderman Terry Wachowski and our dear friend and colleague, Alderman Jonathan Brostoff, are leaders and advocates. They were also our colleagues and friends. The condolences of this entire body go out to their families.
Council President Jose Perez honoring Alderman Jonathan Brostoff and former Alderman Terry Wachowski, who both died. The medical examiner's office says Brostoff took his own life in Greenfield Park on Monday. Wachowski died of natural causes. It is still difficult for families right now to buy a house.
Mortgage rates have now hit an average 30-year rate of 7.49%, the highest in nearly 25 years, since 2000. Lenders are rushing to cut losses, with sales and refinancing plummeting. The average American household needed 44% of its income to cover annual payments on a median-priced home as of July. That was the highest level ever recorded in data going back to 2006. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Time for news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. And wow, are the markets responding to Trump's win? The Dow is up 1,461 points to 43,000. That's 43,683. The S&P 500 is up 139 points to 5,922, and the NASDAQ is up 511 points to 18,950. Those are big numbers. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:03.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal. To do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Okay, close your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose. So the way it's supposed to be is that you should be able to breathe easily. you shouldn't feel constrained. What it should feel like is air briskly flowing freely through both nasal passages, day and night. And if not, there's a problem. And it's a don't know what your problem really was until you got it fixed kind of problem. You're living with it. I mean, you're tired a lot. It might give you headaches and sinus pressure, but you're living with it. Yeah, you sound like almost every patient we help until we get their problem fixed. And then you hear them saying, why would I put up with that? Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The bye week continues for the Green Bay Packers, but not for Preston Smith. He was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers before Tuesday's deadline. Now he's got a terrible towel, right? Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst replacing a veteran locker room leader.
It wasn't something that we set out to do. It wasn't something that we called a bunch of teams saying, hey, are you interested in Preston Smith? Because we know his value. But when the opportunity came and we got the phone call, we just thought it made sense for us for what we're trying to do. And again, I think he's going to a very good situation with a playoff caliber team and a really good organization. So that always, from my end of it, does help a little bit, especially with a guy who's given to us what Preston has given to us.
Week 10 of the NFL season begins Thursday night when the Ravens host the Bengals. Milwaukee Bucks hoping to snap a 6-game losing streak. Ouch. They're at home tomorrow against the Utah Jazz. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. How about this? No crashes to let you know about at the moment. Anything that we had earlier has since cleared. No disabled vehicles being reported either, so nothing that is impacting our major highways and interstates. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, but we are seeing a little bit of drizzle in Milwaukee in some spots. And also, we have somebody reporting that it's pouring in Colgate, so be prepared. Have that slicker or maybe umbrella handy just in case you're in that spot that's seen a little pop-up shower. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 40. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and high of 58. That'll be nice. Mostly sunny on Friday as well, high of 59. Saturday, increasing clouds, showers late, high of 58. Sunday, showers in the morning and breezy conditions otherwise. High of 63 on Sunday, though. It is currently 46 degrees in Port Washington, 48 in Waukesha, and 50 here in Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty, signing Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:07.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. How are we feeling it? What's the vibe check, Brian?
As my parents used to say, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Okay. Is that where you're at?
I'm really not happy with last night's results. Donald Trump won in a good old-fashioned butt-whipping. He and the Republicans, as The Rock would say, laid the smackdown on Kamala Harris and the Democrats. So that's our reality for the next 4 years.
And, and I think that is, I would say, as people have been checking in and I've been talking to people, I'm not surprised that he won. I am surprised he won the popular vote. And I think that sends a message to the Democratic Party as far as where do they go from here.
Yeah, I mean, there's, listen, I'm not gonna say that he didn't win, that Kamala lost. He won. He won. There's no two ways about it. But you're right. Just like I want to be hopeful that there is another election. You know, part of the rhetoric prior to this was if Donald Trump were to win, that's it. We're not going to have any more elections. So I'll be optimistic and say yes for the next election. The Democrats need to retool, but they've had to do that for forever, basically since Barack Obama left office. They've been trying to do the same old thing, and it didn't work.
Well, and it's interesting to me, I've seen this pointed out a handful of times as far as the messaging and the narrative around Democrats and the Democratic Party, in that if you look at Missouri, which is deep red,
yes,
as far as how they vote for their politicians, but they also voted for a $15 minimum wage and paid sick leave and abortion rights. And I don't know if that is the answer somehow of like how do those two things compute as policies as far as Democrats run on, try to write bills and legislate on, and yet those two things are so disconnected in such a red state as far as electing people who are not advocating for those kind of policies, but then voting via referendum on wanting those policies. And so there is a gap there as far as the policies that are aimed at helping working class people, but the message being lost.
Yeah, I don't know when the disconnect came. I think part of it is there's a tone from some of the fringes of the Democratic Party that it takes on a more parental kind of scolding tone when talking to people, which, listen, I'm a Democrat. I'm also an adult. I have a mom and a dad, or I had a dad. I don't need to be scolded by anybody. I also think that the Democratic Party in the last election let itself be driven by far left forces. Mm-hmm. And again, as a guy who's a member of that party, I don't want to go anywhere near that far left. So there's been a lot of things. I think the old coastal elite thing is a lot of garbage. I think there's a lot of elite people in the middle of the country too, on both sides. So that it's the tone. It is that disconnect, like you said, from real issues. And it also, I don't want to spend a lot of time Monday morning quarterbacking because I think the vice president ran a strong campaign, but I also wish that there had been some more real focus on those kitchen table things that everybody kept saying, this is the issue for me. It was all about prices. It was all about the grocery store. And that's a legitimate gripe. And I know she had talked about stopping price gouging and all of that, but I think coming off, this current administration, where, yes, in the big picture, the economy is doing great. There's a lot that you could brag about, but it hasn't filtered down yet, and I don't think people were going to be patient enough to wait.
And I think that it'll be what I'm now interested in seeing is, I think, when's the Fed coming?
Is it next week?
I think it's next week. As far as what they do to interest rates, what that does to a potential looming recession, who gets holding the bag, if other of these other leading indicators that we've talked about, as far as it on paper the economy being strong, but in people's pocketbook it not being strong. If things start to really slow down, who gets left holding the bag of whose fault that is, and where people place blame for that? Because I don't think a year from now you're going to change corporations' minds and they're just going to bring prices down.
No. And this is nothing new. Prices go up. I think back to my dad, who always thought a shirt and tie should cost $25, no matter what, because that was like when he bought his first shirt and tie. It was $25 to the day he died. He thought it should only cost $25. And I find myself kind of thinking the same thing. Oh, a hamburger at McDonald's, a little
shouldn't be. What is it now? $8?
Yeah, just a regular little hamburger shouldn't be $4. It should still be 59 cents. But that's not how it works. And there's a lot that in the days, people who know more than me or think they know more than me will debate all of this. For today, I'm sad for my wife and daughter. I'm sad for you and Rhea. I'm sad for my friends who are in the LGBTQ community. One of them actually, we hear about people leaving the country. He actually retired today and moved to Costa Rica. He had a place down there that he was using.
Was he going either way, or was he waiting for today?
No. He was debating about the retirement part, but he had this place in Costa Rica that he used as like a rental or his place to go for the winter.
Yeah.
And that's it. He left.
All right.
So people do actually leave the country. It's like, Holy cow. And I'm not, I'm not leaving. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to do a show like this in Bolivia? They're not going to let me do it.
That's what Mike and I have talked about as far as like we're pretty entrenched here. And actually, maybe we'll touch on that on the way back because as far as my reflection so far has more been on the importance of doubling down on more local issues. Yeah. And so let's take a break quickly, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that after this on Spanning the State.
The National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch.
Go to a place of safety now. A tornado warning is in effect.
The danger in the thunderstorm alone is definitely there. We have wind gusts where it's at 50 miles per hour and lots of lightning in the storm system.
Keeping you updated on the weather so you can keep you and your family safe with severe weather coverage on WTMJ. Sponsored by Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
There's no better place to catch the natural wonders of fall than Lake Geneva. Stroll a lakeshore path in a kaleidoscope of color. Explore winding rustic roads. Take a scenic boat tour or glide through a forest on a zip line. At night, stargaze from a historic observatory, cozy up to a campfire, or have a cocktail on the patio. Enjoy the seasonal bounty at orchards, wineries, and farms with flavors to savor. Plan your fall getaway now at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva. It's always been the place for fall fun.
Boy, the breaks are shorter without all those political ads. It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And, one of the things I was thinking, and I was debating on whether to share this before the election because, after the election, it can be, well, that's what you're leaning into that now because your candidate didn't win. But I was thinking as far as when we talk about getting out of the comment section, getting off of social media, having in real life conversations, touching grass, all of that, and just the importance of leaning into things where you feel like you're making an impact. And I thought about that even before, regardless of what the election results were going to be, of the importance of your community, your neighborhood, your city, your state, and the things that of the people that you actually interact with. Because sometimes I think national politics can just feel so broken and messy. And despite the fact that there's so many people who were put a lot into this election on both sides, ultimately there's a winner and, you feel disappointed. And I was reflecting on the work that we do at WTMJ, the work that I see my colleagues at Journal Sentinel do, how many people I knew who were running for office, how many people I knew who were canvassing and volunteering and involved. And there was just such a sense of pride of the company that I keep, both professionally and personally, and not of just the fact that being friends with and colleagues with people who are so invested and care about the trajectory of where we're going. Yeah. I think that's what's making me feel I don't feel terrible today.
I do, but I know it's going to pass. I know by tomorrow it'll be like, okay, well, this is the country we have for the next 4 years. Let's see what we can do, and hopefully I'm going to say it, and I know the texters will love it. Hopefully the damage that gets done, and I say that because that's kind of what we've been promised from the president-elect. I'm hoping the damage can be minimized. I don't know if it can. I don't know what it will be, but I know that he has threatened, told us, promised, however you want to describe it. Just his own words have made me anxious about what's to come over the next 4 years. But then in 4 years, we get to do it all again, and the Republicans will have to find a new candidate, and the Democrats will have to find a new candidate, and we'll go through all this again. And who knows how much vitriol will grow over the next 4 years.
But not even just the next 4 years. I mean, as we've said yesterday, in Wisconsin, there's a Supreme Court election in April.
Then the midterms, of course.
And then in the midterms, we're going to have the governor. We're going to be electing a governor. And I don't know if Tony Evers will run again. And so there's a chance that there's going to be a new candidate for both parties there. There's a chance maybe Eric Hovde will run. And so on that note, let's take a quick
segue.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some of the other races besides the presidential election across Wisconsin on Spanning the State.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out-of-pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
Hey, it's Kristen Bry, and I have a new dentist. And I cannot say enough about Dr. James Michaels at Economowalk Dental Care and his awesome staff. Do you want your best smile for all those holiday family photos that are coming up? Have you not been to the dentist in a while? Maybe you have a fear of going to the dentist, but for whatever reason you need a new dentist, I am here to tell you, go see Dr. Michaels. Because whether you need a simple cleaning, a teeth whitening, a more complex dental procedure, Economowalk Dental Care will always make you feel as comfortable as possible and give you and your family an amazing smile. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Call and make an appointment today, 262-567-7224. You deserve to feel confident about your smile, so go see my new dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economowalk Dental Care.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContracting.wi.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. Zero wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? Tri-County Contracting at WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry, and we're moving on from the presidential race and covering different Wisconsin races, because for the first time since 1968, Wisconsin split ticket voted and elected Tammy Baldwin for her third term, and then also elected Donald Trump. And so, as of right now, Tammy Baldwin has declared victory in the Wisconsin Senate race with 98.6%. This is when the last time I checked. Yeah. It was 98.6% of the votes counted, and Baldwin led Hovde by 49.3% to 48.6%. A margin of 25,614 votes. In Hovde's speech, or when he's addressed this so far, he's blamed it on the America First candidate, Thomas Leaguer, who received more than 28,000 votes. So that is interesting. In Wisconsin, just as a reminder, a candidate can demand a recount if the official tally votes show that the candidate losing by 1 percentage point or less. If the candidate were behind by less than a quarter of a point, the state would have to pay for the recount. If the candidate is behind by a quarter of a point to 1 point, the campaign would have to pay a few $1 million to cover the cost of the recount. And so I do think I always come back to this, both with Wisconsin, but voters in general. It points to what we said about Missouri and the disconnect between the referendums that they vote for versus the candidates that they elect. And here in 2022, Wisconsin reelected Tony Evers and also reelected Ron Johnson. And here, Tammy Baldwin, it seems, is going to live to see another term. And yet, pretty decidedly, Trump won Wisconsin. And so it is just, I don't know what to make of that in this moment besides...
I don't know either. And it's another thing it shows is, boy, don't believe the polls, because if you believe the poll from a month ago, Tammy Baldwin was wiping the floor with Eric Hovde. And now, we're down to a percentage point separating them and 25,000 votes, which is nothing. So, again, we were talking about this before the show. Nobody really knows anything, because the beauty is we all walk into that booth and we do whatever we want. And I might have told a pollster this, or I might have not answered the phone call, and so they don't, who knows, I might have never even been part of a poll. But all of a sudden, wait a minute, how'd that happen? Yeah. And what led to that, and what's going on here? And I'm just going to, I know this is killing me. I know I'm not, I don't want to respond.
You're letting the text messages.
No, I'm just going to say this. For the people who are calling in or texting and complaining that we're not celebrating enough, that's because I didn't want him to win. So I'm not going to celebrate. But there's no disinformation. We said Donald Trump won in a smackdown. There's no question he is going to be the president come January. That's it. If you want me to jump up and down and kiss the ring, that's your job. That's not my job. And that's not what I'm going to do. So save your index fingers for, pointing at other fake conspiracies that you see or other news that you think is fake. The fact is, Donald Trump is the next president. There. Am I happy about it? No. I haven't been happy about it since he announced that he was running again. So there you go. But I'm not gonna put on a happy face and pretend everything is hunky dory until it turns out to be hunky-dory.
Who knows? Maybe prices actually will come down.
Sure. But, in March, when a hamburger now, instead of costing me $3, costs me $6, do I have what do I say then? Is that a false narrative? No, because it's right there on the menu board, $6. I'm not making that up. It's out of context. No, it's not. It's out of my pocket. All right, I'm done. I'm turning off the text screen.
All right, well, I'm going to come back to the conversation we were having.
Let's go back to some more local issues.
As far as I'm interested to know if there is no recount or if there is a recount and Tammy Baldwin is reelected and goes back to Washington, whether or not Eric Hovde will stay involved in Wisconsin politics. Because like we said, we have governor is up, and I don't know who is on the bench right now for Republicans in Wisconsin for statewide office and who would run. And so it's interesting to me to think about, considering how well he did against, typically a popular incumbent, if he would be interested in running for governor.
Well, he's proven that he has supporters. Well, yes. Okay. Why are you nitpicking little details?
Well, no, I actually say that very seriously in the sense that I think there are certain types of leaders who are meant for Senate, and there are certain kinds of legislative seats, and there are certain kinds of leaders who are meant for executive seats, and those are very different positions as far as coalition building, as far as writing legislation versus, and I think in executive seats, getting stuff done. Mm-hmm. And I think there's certain, especially when you're in the U.S. representatives, some of those people I think get elected and can kind of just coast. Yeah. And versus when you're governor or you're mayor.
Yeah, you got to be there.
you got to be there. There's a lot of work to do.
And it's every day.
And a lot of the buck stops with you a lot. And so it'd be interesting as far as his multiple hats that he wears, as far as being able to multitask as senator versus being able to multitask as a governor of a state.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But we'll see.
Well, let's talk about some more of these local and statewide races when we come back, because right now we must go to ABC News and local headlines, and I have to go spread some more disinformation.
God.
This is a special report from ABC News. Your voice, your vote. I'm Michelle Franzen. Following Donald Trump's White House win, Vice President Kamala Harris has conceded the election in a phone call with the former president.
Vice President Harris called President-elect Trump today to congratulate him on winning the presidential election. According to a senior Harris aide, she discussed the importance of a peaceful transfer of power and being a president for all Americans. The vice president will deliver remarks this afternoon at Howard University, what her campaign had hoped to be a victory speech last night. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
The White House says President Biden will call Trump today and offer congratulations. Republicans also took control of the Senate. Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries says results are not finalized in House races. Special Counsel Jack Smith announcing his office will start wrapping up the January 6th and classified documents cases against Trump. Justice Department policy states you cannot prosecute a sitting president. This is ABC News.
Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Control over the state assembly and state senate will remain in the hands of the GOP. Of the 4 state senate races, 2 were contested. Republican Eric Wimberger wins the race for the 2nd district. In the other, a tight race for the 8th district. Democrat Jody Habush-Sinekin beats the incumbent Republican Dewey Strobel. In the state assembly, Republicans won all 4 of the races against Democratic challengers. Wisconsin voters approve a statewide referendum question that changes a state constitution to say that only U.S. citizens can vote in Wisconsin's elections. Republican supporters of the measure wanted to prevent non-citizens from voting in local elections like for mayor and school board in the future. Democrats and liberal groups opposed the referendum, believing it promoted the false idea that non-citizens already vote in Wisconsin elections. It is a felony for non-citizens to vote in Wisconsin. And a settlement reached between grocery chain Kroger and several U.S. states, including Wisconsin, addressing the chain's role in the opioid crisis. Wisconsin would receive a little under $22 million starting early next year for opioid abatement. Kroger also has to agree to injunctive relief that requires pharmacies to monitor, report, and share data about suspicious activity related to opioid prescriptions. Kroger operates more than 100 grocery stores across the state of Wisconsin. Time for news about your money. Here's a WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. And wow, these are some big numbers that we are seeing. The Dow is up 1,463 to 43,681. The market certainly responded to Trump's win. The S&P 500 is up 141 points to 5,924. And the NASDAQ is up 525 points to 18,965. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's get you an update on the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have... it's not a crash, though. 4145 north at Hampton Avenue. This is new. The right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle, but as I take a peek at the cameras, traffic is slowing down just a little bit. It's right underneath the overpass. Once again, that's 4145 north at Hampton Avenue. Right shoulder blocked right now because of a car that's broken down. And here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, but we are seeing some light drizzle in spots, including in areas in Milwaukee. Also have a couple people texting in saying in the Colgate area that it's pouring. So we are having some hit or miss showers yet today. High of 55. We already hit that because our temps, I've noticed just in the half hour, have started to drop in our communities. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 40. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 58. Mostly sunny on Friday, too, high of 59. Saturday, increasing clouds, and we'll see some showers late. High of 58 on Saturday, high of 63 on Sunday, but showers in the morning, breezy otherwise. It is currently 46 degrees in West Bend. It's dropped to 46 in Waukesha, and also dropped in Milwaukee to 49. I'm Jessica Ty, Siding Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. You want to make sure you got the right paint color for your commercial business or company. I've got the answer. Call your neighborhood CertaPro painter. Ask about their color consultation services. I've worked with them. They're the best in the business. Free estimates, reliable communication, professional painting at the right price. When you choose CertaPro painters, you're also choosing a partner. Each CertaPro painter business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro painters.
Thanksgiving's only a few weeks away, and Fleet Farm's got just what you need to prep for family and friends. For you turkey smokers, Griller's Gold barbecue pellets are just $5.99 a bag. And you can never have enough Fleet Farm mixed nuts. 2-pound bags are on sale for $12.99. Wash it all down with Bubbler's sparkling water. Now just $11 for 2 6-packs. The holidays will be here before you know it. So stock up now on everything you need at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry, and we are spending this first hour debriefing results from yesterday, including down ballot races.
Those are the ones that affect us first. You know, like you said earlier, the local stuff is what really gets you day to day. Now, you were here as part of WTMJ's fantastic Decision 2024 coverage last night. It was top to finish. I didn't see Steve today before he left. I don't know if he was carried out of here or if he walked out.
He's just energized.
Yeah.
Energizer Bunny, that guy.
So you were in last night, and Jessica Ty and John Mercure were anchoring the primetime coverage, and you and Dr. Ken were in here. What was it like in this room during that?
It was great. Honestly, it felt... I think about my trajectory as far as my career and the fact that 4 years ago, I was making TikToks about the election and not employed by anyone. And 4 years later, I am on... the biggest stick in the state on
making
election night.
hundreds of dollars.
Yes, exactly. and so I think there is a point of pride for that as far as what contribution my opinion and perspective brings. Some people probably, I know, don't like it, but you don't pay my paycheck.
Get on the bus. I got plenty of seats.
And so I was very excited professionally to be here. I thought it was really fun with Dr. Ken, especially because he and I really only talk in passing every once in a while. I've never been on his show. We've never had deeper discussions, especially over the course of 3 hours. And so I think it was nice to be able to let Jessica and John anchor and do what anchors do as far as going to different parties and checking in with different analysts from different states. And then with the knowledge that Dr. Ken has, with the perspective that I have of being able to kind of get into things. And it was good. What it did make me realize is just the spinning of plates that has to happen.
There's a lot going on.
As far as trying to cross-reference tabs and keep track on different races and all the moving parts that go into it. And so it was definitely a team effort, but that it was fun to be a part of.
Very cool. As you were, because you pay a lot of attention to all the local stuff. That's your thing. Was there anything that really surprised you other than the closeness of Baldwin-Hovde?
Well, the fact, so as far as where it comes down with the state Senate and the state assembly, Republicans maintain control for both. It is going to be a lot closer. And I would say for the state Senate, there were some close races that did break for Democrats, including I would say probably the most prominent one that people in our listening district would be Dewey Strobel versus Jody Habush-Sinkin.
Yeah.
And she won,
right?
Which I think was a surprise because he was he's had his seat for a while now. And so as far as I woke up, and that one was actually kind of surprising because it was really close throughout the night, but she did end up winning. Near Appleton or Oshkosh that Chris Alfheim won. So there's a couple different seats. I think it's going to be 18-15 in the state Senate, and looks like it's going to be 54-45 for the Assembly.
Closer.
And so it is closer. And as far as what that ends up doing to bills, as far as what legislation gets out of committee, what gets hearings, what gets compromised on, what gets moved through. I think the last time we talked to Jessie Opoyan, who's the Capitol reporter for Journal-Sentinel, she had acknowledged after 10 years of reporting in the Capitol that she could already see, even going into 2024, that there was movement and more compromise than there has been over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And so I am looking forward and remaining optimistic that at the state level, this is a new day as far as getting more stuff done that people actually care about and are what they hope our elected officials actually do. And so we'll see if that happens.
I kept reading this morning that the Democrats picked up 2 key Senate seats. Is that just they needed 2, or were there 2 specific races that seemed more of weight than others?
Well, I think there was, going into it, there was never the assumption that Democrats were going to have a chance to take control of the state Senate. And so I think it more depended on what the big races were and how close they would end up being. And so the fact that they were able to flip some of the ones that even people who knew more about it thought that the Republicans would be able to hold on. And so there ended up being about 4 that I'm trying to pull up right now so I get them correctly because I don't have all the... I'm also not working on a ton of sleep right now.
Yeah, I noticed no scarf, no bright red lipstick this morning.
No bright red. I did put some mascara on before the show, but yes, I'm not quite as dolled up as I was yesterday.
You know what? As you look through all the folks who were here until the wee hours, everybody looks a little more casual today. Like, listen, we got home, we got a little sleep, we're here. You know,
I'm not
this
wearing
isn't a
leggings.
fashion show.
I did put actual pants on, but I thought about it this morning.
You were mentioning Jessie and saying that over, coming into this election, there's been more bipartisan help. Do you think legislators are feeling the pressure of the new maps, and that's why they're thinking, okay, if we want to stay in office, it's going to behoove us to work with the other side, no matter which side it is. This is a good way for us to be able to keep our seats.
Maybe not for every single elected official,
right?
But I think that they're in more of the officials who live, or the elected representatives who live in districts where it will always be close now.
Yeah,
they will have to be responsive to their constituents, and so I think prior to this, on both sides of the aisle, at least what I lean into is the fact that if you live in such a safe district, you don't have to be responsive to your constituents when they try to get a hold of you.
Right.
Right. When you know that you are going to get reelected, and that's even your constituents who agree with you, right? When they're just like, this is a problem and you can't get a meeting with your representative, and then they just walk back into office term after term after term.
Yeah.
Like, that's frustrating, right? And so I think having a more responsive representatives is a good thing. And so I think in these districts where it will continue to be close for as long as we have these maps, that is a good thing for the people who are in those districts.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break, and then let's go over the referendum. Oh, a lot of referenda, referendi, referendums. They were all there. There were a lot of them. We voted on them. Let's talk about them after this on Spanning the State.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. At a member, new car dealers have factory-warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit Froedtert.com/cancer.
Well, hello there, my tequila-loving friends. It is Brian Noonan here for El Bandito Yankee Tequila. Get ready to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee. It is the official tequila of game day. 100% Blue Weber agave. That's the best kind. Award-winning. Of course, it is all natural, additive-free, and the smoothest tequila that Milwaukee, Madison, and Titletown have ever tasted. You can get yours today at great spots like La Pina on 3rd Street or your favorite local store. And remember, friends, you always win with the undefeated flavor of El Bandito Yankee Tequila. For events, recipes, places to buy your El Bandito, go to elbanditoyankee.com. Muy bueno.
When it's time for an Aaron snowblower, buying local is important. Purchasing one from Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment means you're well taken care of after the sale. The Olson's knowledgeable staff handles the warranty and parts, can answer all of your questions, and is available to do tune-ups and repairs. Check out the impressive line of Aaron snowblowers on display at the Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment showroom in Muskego. Aaron's is offering an instant in-store rebate and 2-year extended warranty. Check it out at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment in Muskego.
In a recent study, over 1/3 of millionaires predicted their ability to feel financially secure in retirement is going to take a miracle. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe a plan, not a miracle, will help increase your retirement confidence. Our team of experts gets to work using leading-edge technology to build comprehensive plans covering investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. And Annex doesn't have products to push with hidden fees or commissions. There's too much of that already. Annex is a fee-only fiduciary. More planning, fewer miracles. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
Oh, everybody's feeling the feels today. Maybe you're excited, you're ecstatic, you're on top of the world. Maybe you're feeling a little down, a little glum. Well, we all got to keep moving. It's Spanning the State after my... I'm Brian Noonan.
I'm Kristen Bry.
I slept and I'm still loopy today.
That's okay. What's interesting is all right, what do we cover now, right? As far as we were trying to find topics besides the election to want to talk about today. And not that we're still going to talk about the referendums. But even as we looked at our, counterparts, different news outlets that report on Wisconsin news, most of it was all about the election, right? Like being a swing state, we have been sucked up into all things election. And like I said at the beginning of the hour, like, life does go on, and now there are other stories. And so this show will return back to covering things all around the state, even in the second hour.
I was going to say,
as soon as the second hour comes.
Next hour, we're
starting. But at least for now,
let's talk about the referenda.
The statewide referenda.
Let's start with the state. We'll start big. We'll go macro, micro.
So it was, talk about a smackdown.
Yeah.
So Wisconsin voters approved the statewide referendum on the ballot to make changes to the state constitution, to change the word from every to only. U.S. citizens can vote in Wisconsin elections. 70%.
There's no doubt.
70% voted yes on passing the amendment. And we were not alone. So Wisconsin, our referendum was part of a nationwide push. Yep. So it was Idaho, North Carolina, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Iowa, Missouri, and Kentucky. They all had similar questions talking about non-citizen voting. And voters approved the question in every single state.
Which I think is hilarious, and the people have definitely spoken. But we had both sides of this issue on the show. And both sides said, no, it's not an issue yet, but one day it might be.
Well, one side said it might. The side that was pushing for the amendment said that it might be an issue.
But also said that it was not an issue now.
It is a federal crime for citizens to vote. And so this is protecting against any municipality in Wisconsin trying to replicate what we've seen. I think it's San Francisco and Oakland, and there's a handful, like less than 10 cities that have moved to have non-citizens be able to vote in local elections. So like school board, city council. And this now prevents that from ever happening in Wisconsin, even though there had been no municipality that had even suggested that change. But yeah, so there is that.
That's
but
good.
then on the local referendums, there was a lot, so we're not going to be able to go through all of them. But in the Milwaukee area, Arrowhead was the only suburban Milwaukee school measure that failed. And they had two. So their big one, Arrowhead had a $261 million capital referendum that failed. They did also have a $7.6 million operational referendum, and that narrowly passed.
Okay.
But then voters did pass referendums in Cudahy, Franklin, Glendale, River Hills, Mapledale, Indian Hill, Mequon, Thiensville, McWanago, Oak Creek, Franklin, St. Francis, Wauwatosa, West Allis, West Milwaukee, West Bend, and Whitnall school districts. And so I was fascinated with that one because it does feel like there's starting to be fatigue with how many referenda there's been to fund schools. But at least here, it still seems like people understand the importance of their school districts having resources.
Yeah, you got to have the schools open. And there's got to be money to do that. So, well, that's okay. We got that. Do we have time for the one in Madison?
Sure.
All right. So what about the operating budget?
So Madison approved a $22 million operating budget referendum that the city needed to continue to fund essential services. And so even at, I think with all precincts reporting, it was 57% of the vote. And then voters also approved a $100 million operating budget referendum and a $507 million facilities budget referendum put forth by the Madison School District.
Big money up
big
there.
Money.
Madison. Wow.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
so I still have to do some more deep dives as far as, because I think overall there was 140 school district referenda across 130 districts. So I haven't, across the state, spanning the state, I've not looked to see what the approval rate was, but at least in the Milwaukee area was pretty high.
All right, we're going to take one quick break, and then I want to ask you the final question of our political, I was going to say power hour, but that's Steve Scafidi on every day at 9 o'clock here on WTMJ. Now that Wisconsin is just another one of the 50 states, does it bother you at all that everybody who was here yesterday making such a big deal of Wisconsin has now left and left us to our own devices for another few years? So we'll do that and more. Spanning the state.
The Political Power Hour with Steve Scafidi.
As an elderly man, he certainly showed Joe Biden how it should be done. He was out on the campaign trail constantly. He grew his base, which I did not think was possible.
Hearing from political experts from across Wisconsin and beyond.
He picked up counties last night that he hadn't won before. He far exceeded his performance with Latinos in either of the two previous races.
Weekdays from 9 to 10 on WTMJ.
A lot of negative criticism has come from the fact that we voice our own radio ads. You sound unprofessional, you sound like you're from the UP, you sound like a couple of dopey farmers. All the comments we've had.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
We don't want to sound like everybody else. We don't want to sound super professional. We want to sound like who we are, and this is who we are.
You know, I take things personally a lot faster than what you do. I get all bent out of shape about it, and you're just like, don't worry about it. That's just one person's opinion, you know. And in reality, you're right.
It's not about them liking us. It's about us being who we are.
You know, we want to have good furniture, goes into the home, makes for a happy customer for a long time. And at the same time, we want to have good employees. We want to take care of our employees. We want to support the local craftsmen so they can support their families and their communities. It's what we do.
See more at pennymustard.com.
Like us or hate us, it's what we do.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture.
It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContractingWI.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. 0 wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without any major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
All right, before we head to the news, I posited this question to you before, Kristen. Yesterday, Wisconsin was the focus of the nation. Oh, everybody was here. There were reporters everywhere. And now, today, we're just another one of the 50. Do you think it's easier for Wisconsin to operate outside of the bright, shining light? Or would you rather, hey, you were here trying to get us to do all this stuff for the last month and a half. How about sticking around and helping us continue it?
What would they help us continue?
I don't know. Maybe some of the policies they promised us,
Will you be on the presidential side?
On any side. Yeah. On you were here knocking on doors. You were both sides were here countless times for rallies. Both times they were making promises to Wisconsin voters. And then they disappear, and it's kind of like, oh, you're just, yeah.
You just go back to being a flyover state.
Yeah, you with the cheese and the cows, right?
It is funny the amount of time that after spending, 17 years on either coast, and the friends that I have who are still on either coast who check in and they're like, so how's Wisconsin looking? And just like the only time half of them probably can't find Wisconsin on a map if I force them, or at least Milwaukee on a map if I force them to. And yet a little bit more attention every 4 years. And so I don't know. I think we're going to do what we always do. We're going to go back to cheering for the Packers on Sunday.
All right. That's probably easiest. We'll be back on the other side of the news. It's WTMJ. It's Spanning the State. It's everything.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services, family owned for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get $1,000 off and 0 interest for 12 months on your Luckstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote, with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Those who don't have 20/20 vision usually do something about it. But many who can't breathe freely through their nose just live with it, not realizing they can have 20/20 breathing. At Advent, we're out to change that. With 20/20 breathing, you'll have fewer sinus infections, more energy, you'll sleep better, and you will live better. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. In 2006, Advent pioneered the balloon sinuplasty procedure. And since, thousands of our patients can tell you, this simple 20-minute in-office solution really works. Balloon sinuplasty can give you 20/20 breathing so you can breathe freely through both nostrils with your mouth closed day and night. And that can change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Hey, WTMJ Sandy Max here to tell you about incredible career opportunities with my friends at 3 Pillars Senior Living Communities in Dousman. 3 Pillars is rated as the top senior living community in Wisconsin, and it's a certified great place to work. Nursing to dining services, maintenance to housekeeping, you'll find an abundance of rewarding jobs available in a serene setting where you make a difference in the lives of others every day. Go to 3pillars.org and click the Careers tab to learn more.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Donald Trump has been elected President of the United States. Decision Wisconsin is on Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 2:01, I'm Julia Fellow. Right now, tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 40. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 58 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, this just into our newsroom as breaking news. Sources tell WTMJ Molson Coors is recommending the closure of the historic Leinenkugel's Brewery in Chippewa Falls.
In a statement to WTMJ, former Leinenkugel's president Dick Leinenkugel expressed his sadness at the reported closure plans. Leinenkugel tells WTMJ none of his family was made aware of or counseled on the decision. The brewery has been a northwestern Wisconsin staple since 1867. A statement from Molson Coors is expected later this afternoon. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Vice President Kamala Harris officially conceded the presidential election, calling President-elect Donald Trump to offer her congratulations. A senior aide to Harris says the call only lasted a few minutes. She is expected to make an official concession speech when she addresses the nation at the top of next hour at 3 o'clock. It's expected to happen about an hour from now. WTMJ plans to take her speech live. Also, in the last few minutes, we learned that President Joe Biden called President-elect Donald Trump to congratulate him on his election win. Incumbent Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin defeated Republican challenger Eric Hovde to win a third term. She trailed Hovde for most of election night until votes in Milwaukee County were tabulated early this morning. She defeated Hovde by a margin of 49.4% to his 48.5%, a difference of just under 29,000 votes. This is outside the 1% Hovde needs to ask for a recount. In a statement, Hovde says he is not conceding and will continue to monitor returns and make sure that every vote is counted. Control over the state assembly and state senate will remain in the hands of the GOP. Of the 4 state senate races, 2 were contested. Republican Eric Wimberger wins the race for the 2nd district. In the other, a tight race for the 8th district, Democrat Jody Habush Sinekin beats incumbent Republican Dewey Strobel. State assembly, Republicans won all 4 of their races. And Wisconsin voters approve a constitutional amendment.
Right now, the Wisconsin Constitution says that every Wisconsin citizen who's at least 18 can vote. The amendment revises that language. It will now say only U.S. citizens can vote in federal, state, and local elections here in Wisconsin. Republicans across the country have been pushing for the change. Democrats worry the change will create hurdles for legal voters and lead people to believe that the problem of non-citizens voting is bigger than it really is. Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Wow. The Dow is up 1456, 1,456 points right now. So up about 3.5%. this hour. S&P 500 up 140, NASDAQ up 531. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 2:04.
You're not just a job number as a Sidex customer. They've been family-owned since 1988, and they treat you as part of their family. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex Windows Siding and Bath. They have seasoned design consultants with 10 to 30 years of experience. The owner, Joe, is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmanship. It's Sidex, the best in the business. Get a free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ. Visit sidexremodel.com.
Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive is bringing us all together again to collect toys for children and families in need.
Join Capco and WTMJ for a celebration of giving on December 7th at the Kazmarek Center in Grafton.
This is more than just a toy drive. It's about kids helping kids. We are learning the importance of giving and how that impacts other kids and families all over Wisconsin.
Experience the joy of giving on December 7th.
And don't forget to bring toys.
Help us make a difference this Christmas. Visit kidstoKidstoydrive.com.
So if you're selling a $2 million home and you found yourself what you thought was a pretty good deal on your real estate commission, at say about 3.6%, you'd pay $72,000 in real estate commission. Not bad, right? Well, your Benefit Realty agent will charge you no more than $19,000 no matter what size property you're selling for the listing side of your sale. And it all comes with the full service you'd expect from an experienced real estate brokerage. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com. We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. Now, I say this because that's a pretty big number, but I also bring it up because it's always been cool for us to save our clients money. It's not about being the top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission with a cap on our commission for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The bye week continues for the Packers, but not for Preston Smith, who was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers before Tuesday's deadline. Here is the Packers GM.
It wasn't something that we set out to do. It wasn't something that we called a bunch of teams saying, hey, are you interested in Preston Smith? Because we know his value. But when the opportunity came and we got the phone call, we just thought it made sense for us for what we're trying to do. And again, I think he's going to a very good situation with a playoff caliber team and a really good organization. So that always, from my end of it, does help a little bit, especially with a guy who's given to us what Preston has given to us.
And the Milwaukee Bucks aim to snap a 6-game losing streak Thursday night against the Utah Jazz at home tomorrow night. Taking a look at your roads through WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. One thing I see going on really far up north in Oshkosh, I-41 south, about a quarter mile beyond the ramp from Omro Road. The right shoulder is blocked because there's a car that is disabled on the side of the road, causing some slowdowns. And there's 2 incidents, one just outside of Madison and Cottage Grove. 3990 north at Highway 30, the right shoulder is blocked because of another disabled vehicle causing slowdowns. One more thing in the south side of Madison, US 1218 west at Park Street. The right shoulder is blocked because of another disabled vehicle. Everything else looks good. Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low 40 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 58 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 59 degrees. Saturday, increasing clouds, possible showers late at night. Saturday, during the weekend, 58 degrees. Sunday, morning showers, and they'll be really breezy, a high of 63 degrees. In Milwaukee, it's 49 degrees and cloudy. In Madison, it's 40 degrees, and Sheboygan, it's 50 degrees. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:08.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Oh, it's time to see if there are any stories around Wisconsin that don't have to do with the election. Guess what? There are.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yes. So let's spin the wheel and find out where we're going first.
Waukesha.
All right, Waukesha. Well, medical imaging is a crucial tool for diagnosing disease, identifying a course of treatment, and determining whether therapy is successful for millions of patients. In an effort to support Wisconsin's efforts in personalized medicine, GE Healthcare is now manufacturing the company's latest Omni Legend imaging scanners in Waukesha. Image quality can make the difference between finding small lesions earlier or, if found in later stages, can affect patient outcomes and disease management. The Journal Sentinel reports that according to GE Healthcare, clinicians are increasingly adopting imaging and artificial intelligence-based solutions for enhanced quality compared with standard care. The manufacturing expansion marks the first North American production site for OmniLegend PECT imaging equipment, which GE Healthcare says enables faster scan times and image optimization. Production of the machines started in September at the Waukesha South Operations Plant, and the first OmniLegend system from Waukesha was shipped Wednesday.
Very cool. I'm still, I hear artificial intelligence and brain scans, and I think the robots are just putting plugs in, doing something. But I'm glad it's working, and it's good for Waukesha to, be producing these things. Okay, that was a non-political story, unless, you're soundly against scans and getting people better. Let's see where this goes.
Milwaukee.
Wow, all right. This is the last living player from the first Milwaukee Braves team has died.
Oh.
Yes, Joey J. He debuted. He was only 17 years old in 1953. He became a member of the very first Milwaukee Braves team. He died in Florida at home at the age of 89. That was according to his obituary in the New York Times. He was a pitcher for the first Milwaukee Braves team after it relocated from Boston. He also held the distinction of being the very first Little League alumnus to appear in the big leagues. That's pretty cool. The Journal Sentinel reported that the Connecticut native was signed out of high school for $40,000, still 2 months shy of his 18th birthday. And then he was immediately brought to the big leagues. Jay became a great contributor in 1958, the year the Braves reached the World Series, but lost to the Yankees in 7 games. That season, he worked 96 2/3 innings with a 2.14 ERA. Following the 1960 season, he was traded to Cincinnati, but did return to the Braves in 1966 at the end of his career. But by that time, the Braves were already in Atlanta and had left Milwaukee. But Joey J., the last man standing from the original Milwaukee Braves.
Now I want to go find one of those calculators and see what $40,000 in 1953 was.
Well, there's a very...
Seems like it would be a lot.
It was a lot. And because it was so much, he could not... They had to bring him to the big leagues right away, because if you signed for that much money, you couldn't go start out in the minors. So he played his first year in the majors, then they sent him down to the minors for 2 years because that, as were the rules at the time, as Grandpa Simpson would have said.
Interesting.
Yeah,
all right,
so
there you go.
Let's spin one more time, shall we?
Kenosha. All right, well, if you are looking for affordable, safe rentals, that can sometimes be a harrowing endeavor. That is changing in Kenosha. The city has partnered with Citywise, an online apartment directory, to help renters find their next home. The new local service has already connected more than 1,600 people interested in renting with local landlords, according to the Kenosha News. City officials told the paper that the platform makes it easier for Kenosha residents or those who are looking to move to Kenosha to find affordable rental properties online. The directory will serve as a comprehensive resource for Kenosha residents seeking rental homes, offering features such as detailed listings, a user-friendly interface, and regular updates.
Wow, you got to get on that as a voiceover person on there.
Citywise operations manager Diana Mason said, quote, "This directory will give residents access to a larger volume of rentals not commonly found on traditional listing sites, including smaller, more affordable apartments and houses that often don't appear on other platforms." The apartment directory is free for renter, and it's now live.
Very nice. You never know when somebody might be moving to Kenosha.
There you go.
Who's to say? If you want any more details on the stories we covered here on Spinning the State, text SPIN to 855-616-1620. When we come back, Veterans Day is coming up next week, but this Saturday there is a very exciting event for veterans and for you to support veterans. So we will talk about that after this on Spanning the State.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
There was an incident on Blue Mountain Road going eastbound where 2 lanes are blocked.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, at the Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
Hi, Debbie, Michael. I-94 eastbound. There is a crash that is
that the sheriff now has the right lane blocked.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Thanksgiving's only a few weeks away, and Fleet Farm's got just what you need to prep for family and friends. For you turkey smokers, Griller's Gold barbecue pellets are just $5.99 a bag. And you can never have enough Fleet Farm mixed nuts. 2-pound bags are on sale for $12.99. Wash it all down with Bubbler's sparkling water. Now just $11 for 2 6-packs. The holidays will be here before you know it. So stock up now on everything you need at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. Veterans Day, if you did not know, is Monday, November 11th. And so there are a lot of veterans activities going on around town to celebrate and thank our veterans. One of those is the Brew City Ruck and Rally. It is happening Saturday, November 9th from 9 to noon at the Explorium Brew Pub. Good choice of locations. Right here in the 3rd Ward, only a couple blocks from here. So I know I have a parking spot. With us now to tell us all about it is Irma Deering. She is the co-director of the Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation. Well, you cooperate in a corporation. Corporation. Hi, Irma. First of all, I apologize for butchering the name of the Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation. What is that?
So that's okay. It's a long acronym-wise, we pronounce it as WIBIC.
Okay.
So it's better than saying that whole thing, Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation. But first, I just want to thank you for having me on. Sure. And WIBIC's been around for 30-plus years, giving a lot of support to entrepreneurs throughout Milwaukee area. And one of the programs that they have and hold dearly is for veterans. And yes, I am the director for the Veterans Program, which is the VBOC, Veteran Business Outreach Center. So that is a one-stop shop for all veteran entrepreneurs who are looking to grow, further the business they already have, or just to experiment, once they get out of active duty and make that transition. Sometimes it's, what do I want to do? I don't want to really work for anyone, so why not, try a business?
There you go. So tell us more about the event.
So, the event is so cool, and I can't take full credit for it. A good friend, Jesus Hernandez, is helping me with it. Also another veteran, him and I, both Army vets. And it is on Saturday, November 9th. And this is just to bring awareness of the kickoff for veterans, Small Veterans Business Week, which isn't promoted very much, but here we are.
Yeah,
it starts on November 11th and goes through the 15th.
Okay.
And we're going to have a nice, good old-fashioned ruck march. So
Explain what that is.
This is what I didn't know.
So a ruck march is an exercise that the military uses, and the word ruck came from the ruck backpack that we use, and it's filled with all of your gear to get from point A to point B, and it's a way of holding camaraderie. You're all tired together. You're going somewhere. So we thought, what way better than to invite everybody, veterans, non-veterans, family, to kind of kick off Veterans Week as well. And we're going to be marching from the pub, Explorium Pub, to the War Memorial. Okay. And then back. So it's 2.5 miles. It's not bad. So we encourage your military gear, just your presence, if people see us with backpacks and flags, they'll be like, oh my God, they're on a rock march. So
Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
go
gonna say,
ahead.
how heavy is a ruck usually?
Yeah, so if you really want to make it worthwhile, I mean, 20 pounds is fine, but
That's
That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, just to start, but it can go up to 30, or you don't have to. You don't have to. It's just, get along with everyone else if you want to carry a backpack with something in it.
So you won't be weighing the backpacks at the start of the march and telling people they need to go pick up some rocks and put them in there?
You might have some people that are like, I missed this. I want 45 pounds. But yeah, no, we won't be weighing
Get that workout up for the day.
We won't be weighing them.
So this is kicking off Wisconsin's Veteran Small Business Week. How many veteran-owned businesses are there, not only in Milwaukee but across the state?
Wow, there are a lot of businesses, and a lot have been vetted through WIBIC, through our technical assistant programs. But you can say we veterans probably make up 38% of the business population within the United States, Wisconsin, through our programming. But just here alone in Milwaukee, we have, I would say over 100 right now. Yeah. And I'm going to be featuring about 5 to 6, only because other ones couldn't make it at this time, at Explorium Pub. So they'll be showcasing their services or their products.
What are some of the businesses?
So some of I was waiting for that question. But Buckets of Bread, that is one. He is an Army veteran. He's been in it and well into it. He's having a lot of success with his business.
Buckets of Bread?
Yeah,
Is it exactly what they said? They sell bread?
Yes, in a bucket. All you do is add water. In a bucket? Yes, all you do is add water. He has a great following. He has a Facebook page. It's great. We have Burn Pit Barbecue Seasoning, one that is from, I might get this wrong, but I think out of Waukesha. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Chris. But also going to be hosted there. And then we have Alas Marketing, and I'm also probably saying this wrong, but they have a printing service.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds very good. Now, for people who are thinking of this, maybe they have a veteran in their family, they want to come to the event. Is there a ticket price? What can they expect when they get there? Besides putting on that ungodly heavy backpack and walking 2.5 miles, what else is going to be happening?
So we basically are there just to kick off. Getting together and talking, swapping stories. It's very simple. We made it short so that it's like you just go in the morning. It's a short period of time. Right. We're going to have coffee in the morning at 9. Boots on the ground. So that means we start the march at 9:30. Come back, and then we visit all the businesses that are going to be there and kind of talk to them and how they started and how they're growing and how they're part of that, ecosystem of a nice small business in Milwaukee and throughout Wisconsin.
And why has Veterans Small Business Week not, you said a lot of people haven't heard of it. I had never heard of it.
I also had never heard of it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like you don't know until you know. And then when I started...
Well, now we know.
And now you know. Through the SBA, Small Business Administration, they have this as a Small Business Week, and it's so important to make sure people, not only veterans, but all small businesses, they're just highlighting veterans as part of, Veterans Day coming up on Monday. But it's so important to just kind of showcase all walks of life. We're very inclusive to everyone.
Are there any trends as far as what types of businesses veterans usually start?
You know what? I almost got, I almost laughed because I always said, it's always hot sauce. I don't think that's the case. You'll see coffee, you'll see hot sauce. But what I've learned is there's a lot of consulting businesses.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that are towards mental health. A lot of it I noticed is helping one another kind of figure out what you want to do, because the mindset and the training that we've had is different. There's a certain SOP that we follow, and it kind of helps us in the real world.
Well, that is, I was reading about the event, which again is Brew City Ruck and Rally. It's happening Saturday at Explorium Brew Pub at 9:00. That part of this is to raise awareness for veterans' mental health. And that we hear about mental health a lot, but that is a huge issue for veterans, right?
Yeah, that is one of the things that is near and dear to my heart. I feel like sometimes you go into wanting to do something for veterans and think there's so much with mental health, but not all veterans are going to tell you they're having a mental health issue.
Right.
So by doing these events and showing up and promoting them and just having a small part in that, having it accessible to them, keeps them busy, keeps them going. And the small conversations that we're going to have in the morning before the Ruck March can change people's minds and thought process. Just a little conversation with somebody that you are familiar with.
All right. Well, the event, once again, Brew City Ruck and Rally. Irma Deering is here. She is with Whippick. Is that
Whippick. It sounds like a rabbit.
Whippick.
No, frog. A frog.
What does Whippick mean? Again?
Women's Wisconsin Business Initiative Corporation.
Perfect. It's Saturday, November 9th, 9 to noon at the Explorer and Brew Pub. Where can people get some more information?
You can follow us on the Whippick website, so wibbick.com, wwbic.com, and we also have following on Facebook as well. We'll have the information.
That's perfect. Well, thanks for being here. Good luck with the event on Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back after this.
I'm Libby Collins. This week on WTMJ Conversations, we get in the ring with pro wrestler Frankie DeFalco.
Kids would tell me, Frankie, there's a guy, he says he's a wrestler, he keeps putting holds on us. He's not letting him go. And sure enough, he was there, and I went behind him, and I put a hold on him called a sugar. And he goes, hey, how'd you like to become a professional wrestler?
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
When it comes to simple, affordable home improvements, at Les's Glass, you'll find an array of options. Like for bath remodeling, adding a new glass shower door, embeveling the edges of your mirrors, or simply having us install new mirrors to any living space in your home can add a touch of elegance and depth that can really turn a room's frown upside down. Or maybe you're thinking new cabinet doors. Before you write that check, find out how we can make your ordinary cabinet doors beautiful with a variety of glass insert options that can be easily installed into your existing wood cabinets and make a world of difference. And before you pay for new windows, call us to see if our affordable insulated glass replacement services can't save you a few bucks. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Did you wake up with joint pain? Does it hurt doing routine activities? How are those knees feeling? Or have you been told it's hip replacement time? WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You deserve a life of comfort, not a life of repeated steroid shots that cause long-term damage. It's time to check out QC Kinetics. They'll walk you through the proper diagnostics for a non-surgical regenerative treatment. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative cellular treatments for joint pain. It's an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. Yes, you can have real, lasting relief from joint pain without drugs, without surgery, and without downtime. Learn about your options. Call QC Kinetics. Consultations are free with Saturday appointments available at locations in Greenfield and Mequon. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474.
Rake in a big win this November at Potawatomi. Go head-to-head in the Cash Clash game show for your share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. The Cash Clash game show at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan, and if you want more information or if you want the Eventbrite link to the Brew City Ruck and Rally, which is happening Saturday, you can text RUCK, just like it sounds. Short U, R-U-C-K, to 855-616-1620. This is what I'm going to miss about not being in school this year. Every year at school on Veterans Day, we would have a big assembly, and the kids who had a parent, a grandfather, anybody in their family who was a veteran, they would come. And so the choir would do a bunch of songs, do all the armed services theme songs and some other songs, and we'd introduce all the veterans. And it was always a nice reminder of Veterans Day.
Yeah, that's a great tradition.
Yeah, it was really cool. And so that I will miss that. We'll have to we'll have to figure something out for Monday.
Well, no, we actually are. We already have. There's going to be a documentary airing on PBS called "Make Peace or Die," which is kind of an intense title, but yeah, "Make Peace or Die: Honor the Fallen." And so it's going to be aired on PBS on obviously November 11th at 8 p.m. And so we're going to be talking to the director and one of the producers from that on Monday.
It's
and
almost like I knew that was going to happen. It teed it up.
Oh, look at you!
Weird.
Look at you doing.
It's my machinations.
Doing your job.
Oh, I've got things under control. When we come back, all right, we've all heard about the religious right, right? We've all heard about evangelicals and their voting block. When did they become a political force? Where did that movement come from? And what does the future hold for the religious right and Christian nationalism? We're going to talk to Phoebe Petrovic from Wisconsin Watch on the other side. But first, we must head to the national scene with ABC News and local headlines.
This is a special report from ABC News, Your Voice, Your Vote. I'm Michelle Franzen. Donald Trump and Republicans celebrating his big win and gains that give them control of the Senate. House races are still undecided. Vice President Kamala Harris will deliver remarks after congratulating Trump in a phone call earlier. The Trump campaign says Trump commended Harris's strength in the campaign.
In an email to the Harris campaign staff, campaign co-chair Jen O'Malley Dillon said of last night's election results, quote, "The whole country moved to the right." But she notes that in the battleground states, there was the least amount of movement in Donald Trump's direction, saying the race was closest in the places they competed. She says to the campaign team, quote, "Losing is unfathomably painful. It is hard. This will take a lot of time to process," she adds. But the work of protecting America from the impacts of a Trump presidency starts now.
ABC's Karen Travers. President Biden congratulated President-elect Trump and invited him to the White House for a transition meeting. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 2:31. I'm Julia Fellow. This just in. Molson Coors announced plans of the closure of the historic Leinenkugels Brewery in in Chippewa Falls. In a statement to WTMJ, former Leinenkugels president Dick Leinenkugel says none of the family was made aware or counseled on this decision. Molson Coors says the decision is a result of the end of a large contract brewing agreement and that the adjacent pilot brewery will remain open year-round. The brewery has been a northwestern Wisconsin staple since 1867. Incumbent Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin defeated Republican challenger Eric Hovde to win a third term. Baldwin trailed Hovde for most of the election night until votes in Milwaukee County were tabulated early this morning. Baldwin defeated Hovde by a margin of 49.4% to 48.5%, a difference of just under 29,000 votes. This is outside the 1% that Hovde needs to ask for a recount. In a statement, he says he's not conceding and will continue to monitor returns and make sure that every vote is counted. Control over the state assembly and state senate here will remain in the hands of the GOP. Of the 4 state senate races, 2 were contested. Republican Eric Wimberger wins the race for the 2nd district. In the other, a tight race for the 8th district. Democrat Jody Habush-Sinekin beats incumbent Dewey Strobel. In the state assembly, Republicans won all 4 of their races. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything far into the green. The Dow is up more than 3.6%. Up 1,523 points. NASDAQ is up almost 3%, up 546 points. And S&P 500 is up more than 2.5%, up 148. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's take a look at your traffic with your WTMJ Johnson Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Looks like the incident, there was a crash that was right by AmFam Field, and that just cleared up. We have 2 more things going on Madison, just north of Cottage Grove. 3990 north at Highway 30. Right shoulder is blocked because of a disabled vehicle there. And on the south side of Madison, just north of Fitchburg, US 1218 west at Park Street, the right shoulder is blocked because there's another car that is disabled on the side of the road. And in Oshkosh, we have On I-41 South, about a quarter of a mile beyond the ramp from Omro Road, the right shoulder is blocked because of another disabled vehicle. Everything else looks like it's on time. Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 40 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 58 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 59 degrees. Then this weekend, increasing clouds, showers late Saturday, a high of 58 degrees. Sunday, morning showers are possible, breezy, a high of 63 degrees. In Milwaukee, it's 49 degrees and cloudy. In Madison, it's 48 degrees. And in Sheboygan, it's 50 degrees. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:34.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
After a series of meetings with the James Imaging Systems sales rep, Matheson Manufacturing chose document imaging technology from James. Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leininger.
They have a reputation out in the field. They've been around for a long, long time. I was really impressed with it.
I also understand you're impressed with the document imaging technology.
Yes, it's quicker, it's faster. We can do a lot more with the copy functions.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology, better support, even lower printing costs.
Yes, definitely. I think the lease is very cost effective for us. It certainly helps with cash flow, and it's just good.
Al, anything else you'd like to add about your experience with James Imaging Systems?
Yes, James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
And I'm Brian Noonan. The Christian right has become an increasingly powerful force, as you know, in American politics at every level, from school boards to the presidency. The roots of the movement can be traced back decades. Well, what are those roots, and how has the movement become so powerful? Phoebe Petrovic is a investigative reporter on a 2-year fellowship with ProPublica's local reporting network. She wrote about this for Wisconsin Watch. You can read it at wisconsinwatch.org. And she's back on the show with us. Phoebe, thanks for being here again. We're happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Okay, so let's start with just something basic for those who we've heard the term, but what's the definition of Christian nationalism?
Sure. So we actually kind of tried to go deeper in the story because the term Christian nationalism is really contested. There's so many different definitions, but basically it's an idea that the American nation was fundamentally founded as a Christian nation, and that should govern our public life, but also our laws and sort of governing rules in society, that it should sort of structure and order everything. And I guess since we're talking on the day after the election, it's important to note that several people who are expected to be tapped for the new Trump administration have said openly that they are Christian nationalists and want to restore Christian values or restore sort of Christian nationalism to the center of his next administration.
Who are those people, Phoebe?
Yes, this is Russell Vought from the Center for Renewing America, who is rumored to be sort of reported by a couple of different outlets that he is a strong contender for the what is it? Chief of Staff.
Oh.
Strong contender for the Chief of Staff in the next administration.
Got
and
it.
used to run the Office of Budget Management and Budget.
And you wrote that this movement isn't new and it's not born out of our current political climate. So what is kind of the history of it in a truncated timeline as far as our time with you today?
Sure. So the biggest thing to know is that the Christian Reconstructionists, which was a fundamentalist theocratic movement that came out of the 1960s and 70s, is kind of a driver of what we're seeing today, but is often unacknowledged and unrecognized. So this was a fundamentalist theocratic movement that said that all of society should be governed by the Bible, but not just the Sermon on the Mount and the New Testament that we think of when we think of Christianity, but also the Old Testament. So saying that Old Testament biblical law should be the law of the land, which includes really extreme things like the death penalty for abortions, for providing or receiving them, for homosexuality, for adultery. Even the founder of Christian Reconstructionism, R.J. Rushdoony, believed that incorrigible teenagers should receive the death penalty. But they wrote a ton of books that were really detailed, sort of mapping out manuals for how this theocracy would take place. And their ideas have spread over the decades, really through the advent of the Christian school movement and Christian homeschooling movement, which was one of sort of the first lines of attack from the Christian Reconstructionists.
But at some point, the Christian Reconstructionists hooked up with the evangelicals. What brought those two groups together, and what changed once they did join forces?
Yeah, so one of the key moments that we reflect on in the piece is this moment in the 1980s where the Christian Reconstructionists and other types of evangelicals joined together at the Lincoln Memorial at the U.S. Capitol, and they signed something called a Manifesto for the Christian Church under the banner of this organization called a Coalition for Revival. The Coalition on Revival is a broad denominational group, lots of different denominations in that. And the thing that changed here is that up until sort of the 70s, most evangelicals were pretty lax in politics. Their sort of vision of the end times led them to believe we can just kind of hang out, do our own thing. We don't have to shape society because society is going to end in a rapture. We're going to be saved. Why would you polish brass on a sinking ship? So instead, what happened once they joined forces with the Reconstructionists, who had this very active view of their faith, they sort of brokered a theological compromise and said, we might not agree on how we believe the end of the world is going to happen, but what we can do is sort of set aside our theological differences and unite around political goals, saying, let us make the most perfect God's kingdom that we can here on earth now. And so they joined forces. Evangelicals become far more active in politics, and that has continued throughout today.
And so beyond that marriage, for lack of a better word, what are some of the other changes that have developed from kind of the original Christian right to what we are seeing today?
So one of the biggest things to help us understand what happened yesterday and over the last few years is the New Apostolic Reformation. And this is something that emerged in the 90s. And this is when megachurches were becoming popular and Christians were sort of moving away from traditional denominations. And this is a group of Christians who believe in supernatural elements of faith, like faith healing and speaking in tongues and prophecies. This has become incredibly popular. It's the fastest growing segment of Christianity in the United States and the globe. And in 2016, leaders of this movement really united evangelicals behind Trump, saying that he was chosen by God to sort of restore Christians to political cultural power. And a lot of that sort of excitement and passion was there at the Capitol on January 6th during the insurrection. Many of their leaders have been hosting prayer meetings that thousands, tens of thousands attend every night. They were barnstorming the country for Trump at these sort of mashup MAGA tent revivals. And they are often animated by this idea of 7 mountains of culture that Christians need to sort of sit atop of in order to completely change society into a Christian nation. But the New Apostolic Reformation, that sort of vision of Christian supremacy or dominionism has really been kind of the animating force behind the political right now and Trump's return to power.
Phoebe, you mentioned the 7 mountains. What is that 7 mountain mandate?
Sure. So this is an idea that a guy named Lance Wallnau, who's considered a prophet, kind of marketed in 2013. And it's this idea that there's 7 different spheres of society. So government, education, family, business, arts, media, entertainment, and that these 7 spheres of society sort of make up how our civilization is run, and they say that have been sort of taken over by the devil. And so godly people, specific types of Christians, need to work really hard to ascend those mountains and shape them. And so everyone is sort of doing their thing within their role, doing what you're called to do. If you're called to be a business leader, be a business leader. If you're called to be in government, be in government. But by everyone who's doing what they need to do, they can sort of recapture society for a particular type of Christianity.
And so, Phoebe, when we think about, I was just looking this up as far as modern day theocracies, and the only, unless I'm mistaken, the only current Christian theocracy is Vatican City, and other countries that currently have a theocracy is Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Iran, and Afghanistan, which obviously are all Muslim. Am I missing anything? Is there any other Christian theocracies currently?
I don't think you're missing any. And one of the things is that we, like, theocracy is in the way that you're describing can mean a very kind of particular thing, and it might look different here in the United States. And so we tried to stay away from theocracy unless it was really specific to the Christian Reconstructionists who did envision sort of a theocratic theocracy. But often when we think of theocracy, we think of people who are religious figures who run the church, also running the government.
Okay.
So Christian nationalism, what we're talking about, is something sort of different, which is, it's not necessarily a pastor being the president of the United States, but instead this idea sort of governing all areas of life. So I'm thinking about there is a state senator in Oklahoma, who said, the laws of the government the laws of God should usurp the laws of the Constitution, so that should come first, and that whatever we make as our laws in civil society should ultimately sort of bend to the will of whatever the Bible says.
Wow. Was there one administration that brought these groups in, like that was the tipping point that said, before there were, maybe you'd get a few endorsements, but this candidate really was embraced by this movement, and that's what it all started to move forward?
So Reagan is really seen as one of the main turning points, is that he sort of cemented the marriage between the conservative Christian right, or the conservative political movement, and the Christian right in American politics. So that came in the 1980s. Of course, Jimmy Carter was an evangelical Christian, but his politics were quite different. And so, he was not successful with the evangelical vote second time around. And so one of the things we talk about in the piece is that in the 1980s, while he's running, Reagan appears at this event in Dallas called the National Affairs Briefing Conference. He speaks to 15,000 plus evangelical Christians and says, I know that it's a nonpartisan event. You can't endorse me, but I endorse you. And that was really seen as sort of an emblematic moment of the sort of coalition building between the political right and evangelical Christians. One of the really important things about that moment is that a famous Reconstructionist named Gary North says in an essay of his that he and one of Reagan's campaign advisors are backstage saying, none of us would be here if it wasn't for Christian Reconstructionism founder R.J. Rushdoony and his books. And no one outside, no one out there in the arena knows that, but we know that.
Wow. Well, it is a fascinating piece, and people can go to wisconsinwatch.org to read all about it. Phoebe Petrovic is the author. She's an investigative reporter with ProPublica's local reporting network, and she writes for Wisconsin Watch, and she's been on the show many times, and we hope to have you back soon. Thanks a lot, Phoebe. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, let's do this. Then there's more. It's Spanning the State.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need. Photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 11/16, in-store only.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
This is the sound of a door opening. But not just any door. The door to more care options, leading-edge treatments, first-ever technologies, medical breakthroughs. Because when you're really sick and running out of pathways, opening a new door to more possibilities means everything. Welcome to the all-new East Park Medical Center. UW Health. Remarkable.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. I believe it's time for me to fly.
All right, well, we have survived another spanning of the states.
And listen, tomorrow's another day. Today was unique with the election yesterday, but tomorrow we're back well, I'm sure there's going to be more election stuff.
We got to find some stories.
Yeah, we got to get to work.
We got to find some stuff to talk about that is not election related, just like every other newsroom around the state, maybe even around the country, because life goes on.
Yes, it does.
We will continue to find joy in the things that bring us joy. We'll find humor in the things that make us laugh, and we will keep bringing you good stories from around the state.
One of them will involve one of my favorite topics, beer.
Tomorrow?
We got Black Husky tomorrow, don't we?
Oh, yeah. So this is for not a combination, a collaboration between Black Husky, one of my favorite breweries in Milwaukee, and the Milwaukee Press Club. And they are to do scholarships for journalism. So that is tomorrow. And
we're going to talk about the holidays are coming up. People will be cooking. You don't want to end up like McDonald's or an egg place with foodborne illnesses. So we'll talk about it. So we have stuff planned.
We have stuff planned.
It's not like we're just going to roll it and start jabbering. Maybe tomorrow I even turn my text screen back on. We'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see how that goes. Well, listen, go home and get some rest. You've been talking politics for 48 hours.
So yeah, it's time to have a break.
Yes.
Hang out with Frankie.
she'll make you feel good because she doesn't know what's going on.
She does not know what's going on.
So she just knows, oh, yeah, there's Mom.
Yeah,
and that's nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. And yes, we'll end at a high note. Since you turned the text line off, 847. Kristen and Brian, you are both rock stars. We'll need you in the years ahead. So glad you're both on the air every day to give your perspectives. Thank you, 847.
Thank you,
We're
847.
happy to be here, too. Ria's also happy. All right, Wisconsin's Afternoon News is next. We will see you or hear you tomorrow.
See ya.
Wisconsin volleyball has a new home.
It's match point in Madison.
Catch all the excitement of the 2024